Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for watching this video. We got the NBA Fantasy Basketball Week 2 waiver wire pickups. We're going to be doing this kind of just a quick style video here. I just want to make like maybe 10-15 minutes at the longest. I created a watch list of players that we should be aware of to add for no matter what size league you play, no matter what categories, head-to-head points, whatever you need. I found a bunch of guys. I play mostly in head-to-head points league, so that's what I'm going to be using as the research here. But man, we got a huge list of players here, and all of them so far through the first week average more than 25 fantasy points per game here. And as far as the percent rostered, I know some of them have changed a little bit, but if I look here, the highest owned percentage guy is 72%, but I have a bunch of people that are less than 50% rostered here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the guys that get the most points and go down the list here. We'll see if we can name some players for you guys to look at. So Saddiq Bey, small forward for the Detroit Pistons here. He's averaging 35.6 points. I think that's through 2 games so far. He's 61% rostered. And again, it's only two games so far. I guess he's playing right now as we speak here, so he might have been added a little bit. But 42 points and almost 30 points in these games. You see the minutes, 34, 33. Pretty good rebounder and scorer here too. So I like Saddiq Bey. He's only 61% rostered. Andre Drummond, he's been the backup for Joel Embiid, but he's been very productive. I know the minutes aren't quite there, 18 and 19 minutes, but the rebounds are there. And so are the assists, the steals, and the blocks. So he's just a very productive player in his few minutes that he gets. And with Joel Embiid potentially having some issues, he could be a guy that just has roster benefits for the rest of the season. So he's only 50% rostered, and he's averaging 34.5 points through 2 games so far. Ricky Rubio, now he's interesting because it's been 3 games for him, and his fantasy output has been 32, 29.75, and 41. The minutes, though, 25, 28, and 35. He's been getting points. He's been getting a ton of assists, and he'll get a steal or 2 per game here. So Ricky Rubio, through 3 games, he's averaging 34.3. He's less than 50% rostered here too. So I like the Ricky Rubio quite a bit. You got Will Barton on the list next here. He's averaging 34 points through 2 games. His minutes, 32, 34. You see the points, the rebounds, the assists. He's just a really well-rounded player, 30 and 38 for his totals so far. And he's less than 32% rostered. So Will Barton, man, through 2 games, getting a lot of minutes, good points, and good rebounds, and good assists. So I like him. He's a player that I think you can set it and forget it. You got Cole Anthony next. Anthony's numbers are skewed a little bit. He does have 3 games. He's playing again right now, but his last game last night against the Knicks, 35 minutes, 29 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists. Good for 62.75 points. So his floor games have been about 18, but man, if he's going to be putting up some massive games like this, he's worth holding on to for at least a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But huge game from him last night. He's averaging 33.1 points so far through 3 games. Memphis shooting guard Desmond Bane averaging 32.6 points through 3 games. Let's take a look at his minutes. 31, 30, and 31. So 3 pretty, similar games here. 17 points, 19 points, 22 points. He's going to be a consistent scorer for this team as long as Dillon Brooks is out. And then rebounds, assists, and some steals every now and then too. But 3 games, all over 30 fantasy points. So Desmond Bane, maybe a short-term plug right now. He's about 18% rostered, so I like what's going on for him. We got, let's see here, Chris Duarte, shooting guard here for the Indiana Pacers, my bad. He's averaging 30.8 fantasy points per game. He's about 37% rostered here. And in 3 games so far, he has 28.5, 27.5, 36.25. But the minutes, 41, 45, and 33. It's a very productive player. He's going to benefit mostly in points, but some rebounds and some assists, and it looks like a steal per game so far. So I like Chris Duarte. DeAnthony Melton, another Memphis player here who's benefiting with no Dillon Brooks in the lineup. He's 18.7% rostered, averaging 30.1 points per game. 26, 34, and 30 have been his total so far. This is looking like a pretty nice player here. I'm not sure how long Dillon Brooks is going to be out. We need to monitor that. But for now, Desmond Bane and DeAnthony Melton look to be some pretty nice players. Next up on the list is Precious Achiuwa, and I still don't know how to say his last name, but Precious for Toronto Raptors, 29.8 fantasy points per game so far. He's played in 3 games. In his 3 totals, he's had 28.75, 40.5, and 20. But 2 double-doubles in this list. The minutes are kind of sporadic, 19, 25, and 30. He's playing right now. We'll see what his total is, but this is the guy, only 13% rostered, almost putting up 30 points per game. He's worth a look for sure. You got Seth Curry, just with the absence of Ben Simmons. This is more minutes for guys like Seth Curry. He's 51.7% rostered, going for almost 30 points per game. You look at his totals. One dud, 12.5, but a 37 and a 39.75. If that's the 3 games you're going to get from him on a weekly basis, I think you could expect some nice things. But look at the minutes, 34, 36, and 28. The points, though, 28 and 23 his last 2. This is a guy that's not going to really produce much rebounds, assists, steals, and stuff. It's mostly coming from the points. But if he gets hot, man, this is a guy that could be very helpful for you. We got Josh Giddy. Next year for Oklahoma City Thunder. Their first-round draft pick's been playing really well. He had a massive game last night, getting his season high in minutes, points. He had 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 steals, good for 48.75 fantasy points here. So what I like from this is he got the start. This is the guy that could have an opportunity to grow in this young offense here. So this is more of a long-term play here. You're going to take the ups and the downs with Josh Giddy, but less than 20% rostered. And again, if he's going to have a couple boom games every now and then, and as long as he hits about 20 fantasy points, this could be a guy worth your time. Derrick Rose up next here, averaging just over 29 fantasy points per game. He's got 56.5% rostered. And so far through 3 games, you see 29 minutes, 24 minutes, and 22. So he's playing okay. He's on an uptrend right now. The points, the rebounds, the assists, and the steals are going to be coming, consistently enough. But 37.5 points, 22.5, 27.5 points. That's a good floor. If you play in 10 or 12-man leagues, you're kind of looking for your last player to get more than 20 fantasy points per game. So I like Derrick Rose here. A couple guys real quick. I'm just going to rifle some of these guys off. You got Lauri Markkanen averaging 28.8 fantasy points. He's under 52% rostered. A guy that's widely available is going to be Mason Plumlee. He's about 30% rostered here, and he's averaging 28.3 points per game. This seems really consistent too. The minutes are kind of hovering around the same numbers, and his worst game has been 25 fantasy points. So I feel really comfortable getting a guy like Mason Plumlee for cheap. Raul Neto, Washington point guard here. He's averaging 28 points per game. Just 2 games so far, but it's been very productive. You see a 33.75 and a 22.25 here for him. Is a guy that probably has a nice role in that offense. Another Memphis player, Xavier Tillman, working with 27 fantasy points per game so far. It's just 1 game, but it's a good sample to kind of keep a note on here. He's going to be a small forward, power forward option for these guys going forward. Carmelo Anthony makes the list. He is 33% rostered, averaging about 27 fantasy points per game. He's going to be a little bit more boom bust. It really depends on how the game script goes, but the minutes are going to be there, 28, 25, and 26. He had a nice night the other night, 28 points in that one, but his floor is about 15 points. He had a 23. Maybe that's kind of where he settles in there, around 23 points per game or so, but so far so good for Carmelo Anthony. Tyrese Maxey, averaging just under 27 points per game, and he's only 25.7% rostered. This is the guy that's going to get the biggest benefit from Ben Simmons not playing. 34, 36, and 34 minutes so far here for the man. Pretty consistent scorer. He's going to chip in rebounds. He's going to chip in assists too. So this looks like a really safe guy that as long as Simmons is not playing for the Sixers, this is probably a guy worth your roster spot in 10 and 12-man leagues. Jayshawn Tate, averaging almost 27 points per game. He's about 9% rostered here. I think that's through 3 games for him, so that's looking like a safe number. Alfred Payne here. Just 1 game from him so far this season, but it's worth noting he got 26.75 points in that game here. You have Brook Lopez, who he only had 1 game so far this year. He's been out with the back injury, but if he gets dropped, he's below 60% rostered right now. If he gets dropped, he's worth a pickup. Tim Hardaway Jr. here, he's the highest percent rostered guy on my list. But if he's available, he's worth picking up. He's just going to play a lot for the Dallas Mavericks. Reggie Jackson, another high-owned guy here, almost 64% rostered here, but he's averaging 26 points per game. Naz Reid, he's a guy that played a lot last year, and he was very consistent when Karl Anthony Towns was not in. But you see 19 minutes per game so far. Just a sticky guy for kind of all the categories here. 24 and 26 points in his 2 games. A guy that might be a nice piece at the end of your bench in a 12-man league. Bojan Bogdanovic here, 63% rostered. He's just been pretty consistent. That's probably a guy that needs to be owned in 10-man leagues. And then the last 3 guys on the list, Hassan Whiteside, averaging 25.5. That's only 2 games so far, and he's 44% rostered. You got Cam Reddish looking good for the Atlanta Hawks. He's averaging 25.5 points as well, 17% rostered. And then last guy, this guy was pretty good last year as a sneaky player in 10 and 12-man leagues. It's Dorian Finney-Smith, under 7% rostered, and through 2 games, he's going to play a lot of minutes, and he's a good rebounder. So if you need rebounds, Dorian Finney-Smith, 26.5, 23.5 fantasy points. So that's going to do it, though. I'm sure I missed some guys. If you guys watch it to the end, let me know if there's anyone that you're looking for or anything else that I might have missed. But thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you guys on the Wednesday night live show with John and Drake. We'll just be we'll looking at the box scores and just talking about whatever comes up. So thank you so much for your time. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.